2 centuries ago, one man boarded a ship with a notebook, a curious mind, and a question that would forever change how humanity saw itself. His journey would not just cross oceans, it would cross the boundaries of science, faith, and imagination. This is the story of Charles Darwin, the quiet naturalist who sparked the greatest scientific revolution in history. Today, we will sail with him to distant lands, walk among strange creatures, and witness the birth of an idea so powerful that it shook the foundations of the world. Welcome, my friends, to Charles Darwin and the Evolution Revolution. In 1809, in the small town of Shrewsbury, England, Charles Darwin was born into a well-to-do family. From the beginning, young Charles was curious, not about dusty old books or strict lessons in school, but about life itself. He collected insects, studied plants, and wandered for hours in the countryside. His father, a respected doctor, worried that Charles was wasting his life on hobbies. "You care for nothing but shooting, dogs, and rat catching," he scolded. But Charles knew nature was calling. At first, Darwin was sent to study medicine in Edinburgh, but the bloody surgeries and screams of patients terrified him. He left for Cambridge, planning to become a clergyman. It seemed an odd choice for someone more interested in beetles than Bible sermons, but it was at Cambridge that fate intervened. A professor recommended Darwin for an unpaid position as a naturalist aboard a survey ship, HMS Beagle. The mission mapped the coastlines of South America. The captain, Robert Fitzroy, wanted a companion for the long journey. Charles was hesitant, it would mean years at sea. But something deep inside urged him to go. In 1831, at just 22 years old, Darwin stepped aboard the Beagle, and into history. The voyage lasted nearly 5 years, and it changed everything. Darwin explored the jungles of Brazil, the volcanic landscapes of Chile, and the windswept islands of the Pacific. But it was the Galapagos Islands that captured his imagination. Here he noticed something peculiar. Giant tortoises differed from island to island, and finches had beaks shaped for their particular food sources. It was as if, somehow, these creatures had adapted to their environments over generations. Darwin began to ask dangerous questions. What if species weren't fixed as the Bible suggested? What if life itself changed, slowly, over time? What if humans, too, were part of this process? Years later, back in England, Darwin studied his notes and specimens obsessively. For more than 20 years, he quietly built his theory, natural selection. In this view, nature was like a great filter. Individuals with traits best suited to their environment survived and reproduced, passing those traits on. Over countless generations, this shaped the diversity of life on Earth. Darwin hesitated to publish. He knew this idea would ignite controversy, challenging the belief that all species were divinely created in their present form. Then came a shock. Another naturalist, Alfred Russel Wallace, had developed a similar theory. Darwin realized he could no longer delay. In 1859, his book on the origin of species was released. It sold out immediately. Some hailed it as genius, others called it blasphemy. Clergymen denounced him. Scientists debated him. Ordinary people were stunned by the suggestion that humans and apes shared a common ancestor. But the evidence was undeniable. Fossils, comparative anatomy, and observations from across the globe pointed to one truth: life changes. Species evolve. The world is not a static creation, it is a living, changing masterpiece. Darwin's theory didn't destroy faith for everyone, but it did shift the ground beneath humanity's feet. It gave us a new understanding of our place in nature, not above it, but within it. Today, evolution is the cornerstone of biology, explaining everything from antibiotic resistance to the diversity of coral reefs. Darwin himself never saw his work as an attack on religion, but as a celebration of life's complexity. He once wrote, "There is grandeur in this view of life." And indeed, there is. From a curious boy chasing beetles in Shrewsbury to a revolutionary thinker whose ideas spanned the globe, Charles Darwin changed not just science, he changed how we see ourselves. His quiet courage reminds us that great discoveries often begin not with answers, but with questions. And so, the man who set sail as an ordinary naturalist returned as a visionary, the architect of one of humanity's greatest scientific revolutions. Charles Darwin taught us that change is not something to fear, it is the very force that shapes life itself. In our own lives, we too must evolve, in thought, in spirit, in courage. Just as the finch beak adapts to the island, so must we adapt to the challenges of our time. If Darwin's journey teaches us anything, it is this: never stop questioning, never stop exploring, and never stop growing. Thank you for sailing through history with me today. If this story sparked your curiosity, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the adventure of learning never ends. Until next time, keep evolving.